Shankar is a legendary filmmaker of Indian cinema with his unique style which can go absurd and out there. He has the skill to bring out his childlike imagination onto the screen with the best output possible. But the problem arises when even the storytelling execution is childlike. Let's talk about it. Hello guys, I'm Nona and a lot was riding on Game Changer since the disaster which was Indian 2, a failure at an epic proportions. We usually don't get such big projects by the same director coming out so close to each other. And that's why the bad reception of Indian 2 has kind of flown into Game Changer also. From being outright rejected to getting mixed reviews to Ram Charan getting some due for his performance. But how much could he have done to save the film? So what went wrong with Shankar? It's definitely not the lack of trying, because you can see he is doing that. The films still have concepts and story beats which are interesting, which are genuine. But the execution of these ideas is what's failing. Now the answer to this question could simply be he is outdated. That's it. But I don't feel it's that simple. I feel he's a man out of time. And to explain that, we first need to understand Shankar as a filmmaker. Now over his career, he has made 15 films, 16 if you count Indian 3. And one constant theme you'll find over all his films is the social commentary, which can be direct or indirect. It ranges from questioning the authorities, exposing the corruption in the system, how it affects the common man, how the power is misused. And the films are also a lesson on civil science. What are the laws? How the constitution works? What are the duties of different officials? How everything is there to run the society efficiently, but it only needs good people at those positions. Now if you take the direct ones, you can subcategorize them into legal justice and vigilante justice. Legal could be Mudalvan or Nayak, Game Changer, and vigilante would be Indian Franchise, Onion, and even Shivaji the Boss. Now both these categories are about common man taking an action. In vigilante justice, they feel powerless. Their action often stems from revenge, and as they have no other option left, they are trying to change the system from the outside, going against the law. Whereas in the legal justice, it's about changing the system from the inside, rising in the rank to attain that power and bring that change. Now look at what he did with Game Changer. It's basically a superhero film where this corrupt society is the universe. The big bad is the politician turned minister who's corrupt, who's running the state, and this universe has to be saved by our superhero who's an IAS officer, who's an election commissioner. Their superpower is honesty and their weapon is law. And using that, they're changing the system, doing their rightful duty. And through all this, the idea is to educate the audience, to make them informed so they can bring the change through their vote. That the system is not wrong, it's the people running it who are wrong, and you need to eliminate them using the power of your finger. Now after hearing this, you can easily tell it's basically Nayak or Mudalvan. Now I have not seen the original one, I have only seen Nayak, so I'll only reference it. I have seen Nayak so many times because it was just keep coming on Sony Max over and over again, and I have a really good memory of the film. If I watch the film today, it will work. There are so many memorable moments from it. So why is that a 20-year-old film is working but the latest one is not? It's because of the loss of restraint with Shankar. As the budgets have increased, his imagination has increased, and that has led to him forcing scale into his narrative. He takes it so overboard that the message he was actually trying to deliver is lost. And that's what happens with Game Changer's climax. It just becomes nonsensical. And actually the best moments of the film are when it's grounded and serious. The flashback scenes work so well. The ideas are stronger than the scale. We are seeing an imperfect hero in both timelines. One cannot speak properly and one has anger issues. And he also tries to break down what politics is, how it makes people corrupt. Yes, it's with very broad strokes, but at least he's trying to do that. It's not just black and white. Politician is not born evil. So he tried to depict that nuance. And he also shows that it's not easy to change the system. Because it was super easy, it would become a joke. Because in real life, we are still struggling. But instead of focusing on these things and taking them ahead, he's distracted by the big showdowns, the big set pieces he likes to create with that big crowd, that big setting, which definitely looks stunning. And we know he loves scale. We've always seen that at least in his songs. And even in this film, we have multiple songs which are outlandish, outrageous, and I've heard they spend 75 crores just on the songs. And he tries to replicate the same with the action, which is forced into the world he has created. And why does he do it? Because he thinks in today's time, this is what works. This is modern era cinema. That's why I say he's a man out of time. He thinks that today's youth want such kind of films, and he makes it palatable for them, that they want everything to look like a reel. Those effects, those transitions, the way they talk, the way they interact, it's all based on a presumption he has about the youth, not the reality at all. And because this is not his conviction, it all just falls apart. And you'll understand this point more when you compare the period portions of the film and how well they work compared to the modern era. Game Changer would work so much better if it was a little more grounded. It was more of a political drama than an action film. But wait, isn't that Nayak? Yes, it is. So basically, Game Changer is a modern adaptation definition of Nayak for today's audiences, which is like, what if Nayak has way more cringe? Game Changer is such a template film. Setup, hero intro, action, followed by a song, time for romance, so a flashback, then a song, then an action. It just follows these beats. And in between that, there are a lot of cool ideas. I definitely learned a lot about what an IAS officer can do, what an election commissioner can do if they use their power really well. But definitely, they don't fight using a JCB. And that's where the execution falters. Is he outdated? I don't think so. I think he's trying to be modern, but he totally doesn't get it. And he should just be what he is, what he believes in his conviction. Or maybe we all just have grown up. When we were kid, we enjoyed all of this. But now that we are adult, more mature, it's not cutting for us. Maybe that's what people thought about the older films. And in this Tamil cinema roundtable, we actually talked about Shankar and what's gone wrong with experts like Vishal Menon, Sudhir Srinivasan, Ronak, and Ashamira. Do check it out if you haven't. Do let me know your thoughts. Do you think I make any sense in the comments below? And I will see you next time.